Okay, so here I'm going to be making a March Brown worn emerger. I'm going to be using an olive 70 denier thread. So we're going to start things off first by starting our thread. I'm using a size 12 dry fly hook. I've already mashed the hook, so we're just going to snip off that little tag end. Keep going down a little bit. Stop right above where the barb of the hook would be. And then we're going to take about 6 or 8 of these hackle barbs to form the feathers, so just rip them off at the bottom. Then we're going to tie them in at the top, probably about half a hook shank's length. So if you can see about there, I'm just going to give it 1 wrap, 2 wrap, and you guys can see that that's a little bit longer than I wanted to, so I'm just going to pull our tail feathers so that they shorten up just a little bit. Give it another wrap. Maybe I'll clip off some of this excess over here. Okay. Oops. Get those down nice and good. Then we're going to work our way back, and we're just going to give this thing a little bit of dubbing. So I'm using a dark brown olive hairline dubbing. Fine dubbing would probably work better, but I don't have any with me right now. So we're just going to try to give a small little taper to our body. So get some of that dubbing on there. And we're just going to work our way forward to about halfway up the hook shanks. I need a little bit more dubbing in there. Okay. Work some more dubbing onto there. Keep wrapping. Take out, oh, there's some weird ones. Take those guys out. Okay. So that's probably maybe a little bit more. This fly isn't too difficult to tie. A good one for people who are just starting off. Okay. Get some of those crazy stragglers out of the way. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add some deer hair. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a nice big pinch of some deer hair. Snip that off close to the bottom. Just like that. You guys, once you've made this fly a few times, you'll get the amount right, and then we're just going to kind of take out all the fluff and all the short ones and the broken ones and anything that you don't want. It'll make stacking even more difficult. Okay, so hopefully you can just kind of wiggle through here. Sometimes I like to give it a little shake like that. Try to get some of these loose fibers in there out, that under fur, and this will help make stacking a little easier. Okay, then once you've gotten most of that out, you're going to put it in your deer hair stacker. I have a wooden one, which I like. Okay, so get those guys, whoops, in there. Sometimes they need a bit of persuasion, I find, but I'm also not a deer hair expert. So we're going to get those guys in there and just tap them with your hand on the bottom, tap it on the table so that all those ends are nice and even, and then we're going to take it out. Hopefully we've gotten them all around the same distance. That's not, could be better. And then again, kind of take out the stragglers. And then for measuring, what you want to do is you want to make it so that it's about the length of your tail that you just tied in. So if there's a few long ones, maybe pull those ones out. Oops. Obviously I needed to spend more time stacking, so try to make it as long as your tail right there. And then I'm just going to mark that. Oops. I'm just going to mark that and then cut off all that extra deer hair so I don't have to worry about that later on. So I'm left with this nice flat edge. I'm going to give it I'm going to give it 1 loose wrap, 2 loose wraps, and then I'm going to kind of bind down. Deer hair is sometimes tricky to work with. I find that method helps. So we're going to get all the deer hair out of there. Okay, kind of just like that. Looking all crazy, and you can see it's kind of, oh, that was maybe a little bit longer than the tail, but we're going to fold it back on itself. I'm also a little bit more than half back, so this will work not too badly. Then I'm going to add a little bit more dubbing for the head. I'm going to use the same dubbing, but you guys can use whatever color you think would work best. Tan, lighter olive color, brown. Sometimes people do different colors for the heads. I'm going to keep it simple. Whoops. I'm going to work my tying thread just back a little bit, so we're more back here. Okay, then I'm going to start to dub that part of the body. It's going to slowly start to taper. Got a little bit too much, so I'm going to take some of that out of there and stop maybe about half a hook eye's length from the end. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to take all of this deer hair. We're going to make sure we've got most of it. It's all kind of on the top. Hopefully it's on the top on that side as well. We're going to pinch it, grab most of it, hopefully grab all of it, and kind of flip it over like that. And we're going to tie that down. So 1, 2, maybe 3, 4, make sure that's down nice and well. Okay, then we're going to kind of pinch the ends of this deer hair back and kind of build a little bit of a bridge underneath it, or a wall, to keep all of that deer hair kind of pointed up. Okay, so I'm going to do a bunch of wraps in there, and you want to kind of make sure too that the deer hair is spread out evenly across the front of that fly. Okay, and make sure it's all up here. Okay, maybe a few more wraps, trying to get it to stand straight up. Just like that. Once you kind of have that done, we're going to do a quick 5 or 6 turn whip finish. So I'm going to pull that back so I don't grab any of those. Give it a quick little whip finish. Oops. Okay, and then we can snip our tying thread out of there. There we go. Now what you can do is you can quickly go around and try to find, see, I got a couple when I was doing that knot, so I'm just going to snip those guys off. Awesome. So there we go. This is going to be a great floating fly because we have all that deer hair. That deer hair is going to keep it nice and high in the water. You can add some head cement if you'd like. I would probably recommend that because deer hair is pretty fragile, maybe even putting some of it on the body.